Baseball is unique in that many guys, even in college and pro ball, get away with a fast food and energy drink diet. Now, that's not an excuse to do the same. That's an opportunity to outprepare the opponent. And it is low hanging fruit. You can improve it every couple of hours. When you're empowered with a basic understanding and application of nutrition, I promise you, you'll wish you had learned it years ago. Now, a proper disclaimer: I am not a nutritionist and therefore am speaking from my informal education over the years through reading, listening, observing, and most importantly, self experimenting. I've tried different diets, had different goals, and learned through trial and error. Over the 4 years of high school, I put on 40 pounds. It would have been impossible to have that growth without properly fueling myself. But before we begin, let's ask, why is nutrition important? First off, food is your fuel. It dictates your mood and energy. Every time you eat, you have the opportunity to make yourself feel better or worse. And secondly, we all know the importance of weight training and practice for your performance. But that program you have won't mean anything if you don't properly fuel yourself. And related is your untapped potential. You work out 3 or 4 times a week, but you aren't seeing improvement. It's time to look at your diet. Since it's not as easy as showing up to the gym, it often gets ignored. And in the hierarchy of nutrition, you don't get to move on to the next step until you've mastered the previous one. In dialing in your nutrition, calories are by far the most important. You don't get to worry about the breakdown of your macros or your micros until you have that in line with your goals. And you definitely don't get to play around with timing and supplements until you have the previous steps locked in. So, first and foremost, when discussing your nutrition, you need to have a goal. Gain weight like Sale, maintain like Arietta, or cut weight like Big CC. So, for most of you, especially in high school, your goal should be to put on good weight. Bigger and stronger usually means hitting farther and throwing harder. This obviously requires proper training, but that's a video for another time. With that said, in order to gain weight, you need to be in a caloric surplus. That is, more calories in than out. A simple addition and subtraction equation. But I eat so much is the most frequent cry from those struggling to gain weight. Maybe you are, but the reality is you're burning more, plain and simple. So, if putting on muscle is your goal, it is time to get serious about what you put in your mouth. Now, regardless of your goal, in order to know if you're making progress, you need to measure your variable. In this case, it's your weight with a simple scale. So every morning, step on the scale and write down the number. I use a Google Sheets document. I have teammates who write it down on paper. Others use the iPhone Notes app, whatever works for you. Don't get caught up in the daily numbers because weight gain is non-linear, but you obviously want to be trending up over time. Moving up on the scale can be motivating in itself, improving your commitment to your new eating habits. And if not, don't feel demotivated. Recognize the data as feedback on your nutrition and see it as an opportunity to make a change. If you want to accelerate your progress, I recommend tracking what you eat. I've used the simple MyFitnessPal app. It's so easy. You just type in the food you ate or scan the barcode, and it automatically records the calories and other data. Additionally, the basic data it asks you to put in when you set up the app, like height, weight, age, gender, activity, goal weight, that calculates how much you need to eat in order to reach your target. So using the app takes all the thinking out and makes reaching your goal all but a matter of commitment. But for many of you who could stand to gain 10 or 20 pounds, focus on the scale. You only need to track calories for about a week to get a ballpark number, an idea of how much you are actually eating versus how much you need to be eating to reach your goal. The app doesn't lie. So you might be asking, how many calories should I put on to gain weight? Here, I personally deferred to the MyFitnessPal app. But for some general ranges, you must consider how experienced you are as a weightlifter. If you're young and haven't lifted much, you can stand to have a greater daily caloric surplus than someone who has trained for more time. And now on to macros. You only get to graduate to this level once you have your calories under control. For most of you, unless you have a dietary restriction or are trying to lose serious fat, you will thrive eating a balance of all three macronutrients. Put simply, carbs are important for energy, fats are critical for regulating hormones, and protein is necessary for muscle synthesis. But everybody wants to talk about protein. Yes, athletes like yourselves need more than the regular person, but thinking you need to be having a protein shake with every meal is just wrong. If you focus on your calories and eat a balanced diet, you'll likely hit your targets for all your macros. But personally, I feel best around 30% fat, 25% protein, and the rest with carbs. That's just my ballpark. But I've also experimented with myself, only after having mastered my calories. So a similar sentiment can be said about micronutrients. They are important, yes. But if you eat a varied diet with colorful whole food fruits and vegetables, you'll have no problem getting all the vitamins and minerals you need. Next up, the hierarchy is food timing, and oddly, people focus a lot on it, although I think it's overrated, especially for you high school athletes. Instead of focusing on when you're eating, simply make sure you get in 3 to 6 meals spaced over the course of a day. What is most important is how much food you get in by the end of the day. Let the Olympians and their coaches calculate what time they should be eating. Now, with that said, many people subscribe to the belief that they need protein right after working out, and that's not necessarily the case. It might be helpful if you need help getting your calories in and it becomes a habit, but what is more important is eating a good meal an hour or two before and after your workout. The worst thing you could do is a protein shake getting in the way of eating a whole meal. And finally, it's worth noting talking about eating around games. Now, baseball is long and your body doesn't care. It will be burning calories, so experiment with what your stomach can handle before or during long competitions. My go-to is the PB&J. And now on to supplements. So protein, although not technically a supplement, does help me hit my protein targets when I need it. For me, I use it at the end of the day if I know I haven't had a ton of protein throughout my meals. And next is creatine. It should be the tip of the iceberg for a high schooler. Can creatine help? And is it studied? And is it safe? Yes. But since you can make such great gains with just improving your diet, adding creatine shouldn't be something you need to add just yet. Myself and other teammates have gotten big and strong without it, and I only introduced it as a self experiment as a sophomore in college. And finally, the most widely used supplement out there, caffeine. I rarely use it and only do when I feel like I might need a pick me up. I personally prefer a pregame nap. However, there is evidence that suggests caffeine can help improve performance. So it's a personal choice. But now for the fun stuff, my weight gain tips. For those looking to put on pounds, it is definitely helpful to avoid playing catch me up all day by skipping breakfast. I recommend finding what you like and sticking with it every day. That way, you don't have to think. I go for a yogurt bowl packed with granola, peanut butter, and banana every day. And in addition to my yogurt bowls, I'm also known to always have snacks on me. This might be the most important habit to build when trying to put on good weight. I can't think the last time I left the house without food. This prevents me from being at the mercy of my environment, either no food or really poor options. If you're looking to if you're looking for easy calories, look no further than the Super Shake. When I was gaining crazy weight, I would pack almost 1,000 calories into my shakes. My favorite is soy milk, chocolate protein, spinach, banana, peanut butter, plus chia seeds and oats if I'm going big. And the great thing is you can tailor it to your goals and make it taste great. Finally, I recommend to find what you like. Create something easy to go to when it's after dinner and you don't know what to have. For me, my favorite is a PB&J. For my roommate, it's cereal with some nuts. Whatever it is, once you find it, all decision making is gone, helping you crush that craving for ice cream or fast food. But just to end, I want to say you do not need to be perfect with your diet at every single meal. If it's after a game and the choice is between fast food or not eating, then eat the fast food. The takeaway should be to set a goal, become aware of how much you're putting into your body, and then do the best you can. With that, you will be light years ahead of most college and even pro ball players out there.